Today I want to talk about how this is Sam Bankman-Fried's last chance to snitch on Ken Griffin. He's currently getting absolutely roasted in court and he will be going away for a long time, unless he can give the court someone bigger that put him up to the task. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, over the last few days we've heard the testimony from Caroline Ellison, who has absolutely slammed her ex, Sam Bankman-Fried. She said that Sam directed me to commit these crimes. She said specifically, Sam directed me to steal billions of dollars from FTX. Sam was directing us to borrow as much money as we could. You may remember Sam's entire defense was that he was the CEO of FTX and he had absolutely no idea what was going on over the fence at Alameda Research. He said there was a clear divide between FTX, the trading platform, and Alameda Research, the hedge fund. He's basically said that Caroline Ellison was stealing from those FTX customers to fund her own trading at Alameda. But Caroline is saying this couldn't be further from the truth and that Sam directed me to take that money. Perhaps similarly to another market maker or trading platform and hedge fund that we know, it seems there isn't a fence between these two companies and one person is in charge of both. But not only that, Caroline has admitted that FTX's Sam Bankman-Fried bribed Chinese officials with $100 million to unfreeze their assets. He also purposefully tried to scam Saudi investors in the final days of FTX and intentionally tried to stick the regulators on Binance to destroy his competition. As Elon Musk has replied, he said, "Wow, clearly Sam Bankman-Fried was up to no good." I guess so far this is just Caroline Ellison's testimony and it hasn't necessarily all been proven as fact yet in courts. But obviously if these are indeed facts and Sam did bribe Chinese officials with $100 million cash, tried to scam Saudi investors and everything else Caroline is accusing him of, Sam is in big trouble. And as a result, Sam Bankman-Fried will likely be going away for a long time, unless he can snitch on someone higher up that put him up to the task. We know Sam worked heavily with some from Citadel and obviously must have got his plan to run a hedge fund, market making trading platform and crypto dark pool from someone else. And who else is the mastermind of running hedge funds, market makers, trading platforms and dark pools? You guessed it, Ken Griffin and Citadel Securities. This could potentially be Sam Bankman-Fried's last chance to snitch on someone higher up, whether it's Ken Griffin, Doug Sifu or whoever else, to escape jail time. And funny enough, Crystal Ball has drawn a separate link saying Semaphore Media Group that released the hit piece on Adam Aaron this morning was actually funded by FTX and private equity funds. Semaphore Media Group received a $10 million investment directly from FTX, which I think is a bit of an unusual investment for FTX to invest in a mainstream media news company, unless there's something more nefarious going on. Maybe Sam Bankman-Fried is just about to expose the crimes of Ken Griffin to avoid his own very lengthy jail sentence. Signing up to Moomoo is free and it's easy, it just requires that temporary deposit, but it's a really great way to help support the channel. You can currently get a guaranteed free share of Tesla or of Google and up to 15 free shares on top of that, worth up to $2,000 each. All you have to do is sign up to Moomoo using the link in the description below and make the required qualifying temporary deposit. And speaking of exposing crimes or being very close to exposing crimes, I wanted to cast your mind back to Say Technologies as I found something really interesting. Bigham's tweeted yesterday saying, "Remember when we were about to expose the real AMC share count, and then Robinhood bought Say Technologies and never did anything with their company." I had a quick Google around and Say Technologies has done pretty much absolutely nothing in the last 2 years that Robinhood has owned them. They've taken on a few companies here and there to hold vote counts for, but I could only find evidence of maybe 5 to 10 separate companies. These companies are likely only paying Say Technologies a few $1,000s for each vote count, and therefore I can't imagine Say Technologies in the last 2 years has made more than $10 or $20, maybe $50,000. But just how much does that $50,000 of revenue compared to what Robinhood paid for them and how much were they actually worth at the time? Well, again, if you cast your mind back, Robinhood bought Say Technologies for $140 million. Robinhood spent $140 million and has done absolutely nothing with this company in 2 years, except gaining maybe 5 or 10 customers. But what's crazy is the amount of money that Robinhood paid compared to what Say Technologies was actually worth at the time. So it says US consumer investing and trading service Robinhood announced this morning it'll acquire Say Technologies in a $140 million cash deal. Say Technologies is a venture-backed startup having raised $8 million in 2018 per Crunchbase data. PitchBook data indicates the company was worth $28 million on a post-money basis following the investment, implying the original company's founders and the venture capital firms managed a roughly 5 times return on their investment. Say Technologies was worth $28 million, but Robinhood paid $140 million to keep them quiet. And Peter Han added, saying this one goes out to Robinhood Brokerage, who bought Say Technologies just after it revealed 1% of retail investors held 10% of AMC's float. Saying, is it possible that retail alone owned multiple amounts of AMC's float? Say it isn't so. It's crazy that even back as far as 2021, 1% of retail investors held clearly 10% of AMC's float, which obviously indicated even as far back as 2021, AMC's float was sold multiple times over. Since then, we've had many smaller vote counts on Twitter, and the same has always been revealed. Out of 5, 10, 15, 20,000 participants, it's always been revealed a significant portion of the float is held by very few retail investors, and the overall float is likely sold multiple times over. And the AMC Ape has also just tweeted what I think is possibly my favourite FUD article of all time. You may remember I said the other week it won't be long until the mainstream media is publicising articles saying Taylor Swift making too much money is somehow bad for AMC. And today we've had the article asking, is Taylor Swift milking more money from fans by moving the Eras Tour film's opening day? Somehow Taylor Swift is now the bad guy or bad girl milking money from fans. Somehow a wildly successful theatrical release is now all of a sudden something bad. It won't surprise me if tomorrow we get the article about how Taylor Swift is somehow a horrible person and how that's bad for AMC because they're milking or stealing too much money. Again, the mainstream media and their absolute nonsense never ceases to amaze me. Now guys, I also wanted to go through my trade idea that I posted earlier in the community section on YouTube for SASI Sigma Additive Solutions Incorporated. I also wanted to talk about the importance of waiting for confirmation and also that support and resistance lines are never guaranteed. So SASI ran to $7.20 in the pre-market, and I suggested a move over that level could lead to a gap and go strategy. But I also want to explain why it's important to wait for confirmation. You may have seen SASI a little earlier than me, just a few minutes before, when it was setting highs at $6.50. You may have seen this earlier high break on the run up to $7.20, but then it pulled back very quickly. And that's because we never really received proper confirmation of that $6.50 high breaking. I said when a pre-market high breaks, you should always wait for at least a few minutes of confirmation and a continued move upwards. Here that high only broke for a minute, but was then back below it the next minute. Some people get much too eager to jump into a trade and they wait for $6.50 to break by 1 singular cent and then they jump into the trade. They never wait for that actual confirmation of the break. So far this morning, SASI still hasn't broken this $7.20 level with too much conviction. It has broken it and ran to $8, but it's been constantly flirting with this $7.20 level all morning. It's been above it for 2 or 3 minutes and then fallen below. Again above it for 2 or 3 minutes and fallen back below. And again above it for 2 or 3 minutes and then again fallen below. We can see SASI is still definitely in an upward trend, so as the day progresses, it may break past $8, $8.50 and continue running. I also want to quickly explain why support and resistance lines aren't always guaranteed. Just because 838 is resistance, it doesn't mean it's guaranteed to get there, and it also doesn't mean it's guaranteed to stop there. It may end up blowing straight through this 838 level all the way to $9 or $10. That's why I really dislike when people give specific exit targets or specific price targets, because you just have to kind of feel your way around the trade when you're in the trade. Just because support and resistance lines can be sticking points, it doesn't mean they're guaranteed stop points. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.